This 2023 Subaru WRX has me realizing that Hyundai, Honda, and Toyota need to be checking their rear view mirrors. This rally rocket has me rethinking the entire small performance car market. What's it like? Let's go for a drive. I'm your host, Brian Makse, racer, lover of driving fast, fun things, and on this channel, you get reviews for drivers from drivers. It's taken us a little bit of time to get behind the wheel of this all-new WRX, but this has been a favorite for a really long time, and this being all new, we definitely have to have a look at it. And before we get into what it's like to drive, let's have a look at this new WRX in a little more depth. The WRX was all new in 2022, and what that means is that it's got an all new chassis and it's stiffer than before. Powering this WRX is a 2.4 liter turbocharged flat four, makes 271 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, 258 pounds of torque from 2,000 to 5,200 RPM. Transmission in this one is a 6-speed manual. Apparently there is an optional automatic. There's a limited slip front diff, a viscous limited slip center diff, and an open rear diff. Steering is quicker than before. It is electrically assisted, and it's this dual pinion design where the input shaft is separated from the assist motor for improved feel, according to Subaru. We'll see about that. Suspension's based around McPherson struts at the front, double wishbones at the rear, 2-piston calipers at the front with 12.4-inch rotors, single piston rear with 11.4-inch rotors. Wheels and tires are 17s or 18s. This one has 18s with 245 wide Dunlops. Haven't seen those in a long time. The front fenders are made of aluminum. Apparently they save 2.5 pounds each. There's some aero going on. The wheel wells are vented, as well as some underbody aero going on. Inside there's an all-new infotainment system. This one has the big 11-inch or bigger than 11-inch screen. Curb weight of this WRX is 3,300 pounds, and if you get the automatic, that'll be an additional 140-pound penalty. You guys know I'm more of a engine roar kind of guy than an earbud kind of guy, but that is until Raycon came on the scene and turned me into a believer with their top-notch audio gear. Rev up your purchase with 15% off. Just go to the link in the description box below or direct to buyraycon.com/Brian Makse and you'll get 15% off your order. This isn't just a great deal, it's a great way to help keep your favorite car channel running on all cylinders, but don't hit the brakes just yet. We've got a special surprise for you, courtesy of Raycon. Raycon's all about proving that premium sound and essential smart tech don't have to cost a supercar. And they're all about top-tier quality without any of the marketing fluff. Raycon doesn't farm out any of their design or development. No, it's all done in-house by their top-tier team of audio development engineers who cut their teeth at Bose and Peloton, and those are two brands that I have in my house. I never gave much thought to earbuds until last year when we launched our racing team. Suddenly I'm on endless calls with the team, drivers, partners, you name it. And when I'm filming episodes in the countryside or taking my dog for a walk, my everyday earbuds from Raycon are my co-pilots. With their stellar sound quality, noise isolation, and awareness mode, they've seamlessly integrated into my daily routine. Remember, you can claim 15% off on these game changers by clicking the link in the description box or visiting buyraycon.com/Brian Makse. The everyday earbuds from Raycon have turbocharged my daily life. They're so compact and convenient. I simply pocket them when I'm not using them and pop them in whenever I want. And if my phone rings, it's a breeze to take the call and keep my day in high gear. I'm particularly impressed with these custom gel tips for a perfect in-ear fit. No problem for me. Call quality is excellent, and there's 8 hours of playtime on these. To get your 15% off, go to the link in the description box below or direct to buyraycon.com/Brian Makse. And since you've stuck around, here's that special surprise. Courtesy of Raycon, we're giving away this pair of everyday earbuds. You have to be a subscriber. You have to be following me on Instagram. All you need to do is drop a comment below with the hashtag Raycon Everyday Earbuds, and you're in the running. Behind the wheel, one of the highlights for me is the seat. It's upholstered and shaped exactly the way I like it. However, I'd like to get it a couple of inches lower than where it's seated. I can't get it any lower than this, and I think some tall folks will have some headroom issues. After that, what we've got is this wonderfully shaped steering wheel, perfect for your hands at 9 and 3. The only thing I don't care for is this fashionable and played out flat bottom styling of the wheel. I don't know why they do that. Lots of adjustment in the steering column as well, so you can get it positioned perfectly no matter where you're seated. After that, I've got a great relationship to the pedals. They're spaced perfectly for heel and toe. Gotta love that. There's a solid dead pedal for your left foot. Great relationship to the shifter. We'll talk about this in a little bit. The instrument cluster is very simple, straightforward, easy to understand, and I think a lot of WRX fans have been looking forward to a more modern infotainment system, and that's what we've got. However, especially on this Sirius XM screen with all the different channels on display, what this looks like is a nighttime streetscape from Tokyo. It's just visually assaulting me. I really don't understand why they've done this, but it is what it is. When it's on Apple CarPlay, works just fine. As a system, it works wonderfully. The UI is simple, straightforward, easy to understand, easy to navigate, no problem there, but this particular screen is just an assault on my eyes. In terms of spaciousness, this new platform does give an abundance of space in the first row as well as the second row. Lots of room in the trunk as well. And in terms of visibility, you really can't go wrong here. You can see everywhere in every direction, and thankfully there's a backup camera as well. Now, it is quick. There's no doubt about that. And Subaru says it'll do 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and top speed is in the 140 mile an hour range, maybe a little bit more than that. But that said, what I do find is you have to really abuse this to get it up to 60 miles an hour in 5.5 seconds. Not something I'm necessarily willing to do. I think this would be a lot of fun on some low grip surfaces, which we will talk about in a little bit. But in terms of getting it to 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, you're really gonna be hard, especially on that clutch, and which just one thing I'm not willing to do to somebody else's car. Part of that has to do with the fact that this all-wheel drive system has incredible traction. I think if you got a little bit of wheel spin, it might be a little helpful, but again, I don't want to abuse this car to achieve that. But that said, this all-wheel drive system has incredible grip everywhere. I'm very impressed with the system, especially when exiting corners. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but Subaru has this all-wheel drive system very well sorted. For a car that doesn't cost a lot, this is really incredible. It's a very, very well sorted all-wheel drive system. Do want to talk about the transmission. I do love the ratios. The ratios are fantastic. They're spot on. It's exactly what we should be driving in a WRX. It's a great match for this engine. That said, first gear does seem to be a little bit short. You're out of it in no time at all, and you're instantly into second gear. After that, the ratios are spot on. Given the potential of how quickly this can launch, you're out of first gear very, very quickly if you're accelerating hard. What I do appreciate is the way the shifter actuates. The gates are very well defined. Shift action is very light. And what I do find is clutch action is very light, but there's very clear communication coming through to that pedal where the bite point is and what's going on at the clutch. Love the clutch pedal for that. It's absolutely spot on. Dynamically, there's a lot going on here. It's not just about the handling and the suspension setup, steering, braking, and all that stuff. It has to do with the way this drivetrain integrates into this car, and it is quite good. What I do have to mention is the way this WRX just shoots out of corners. It doesn't demonstrate any bad habits when you're playing with it at its limits. There's a little bit more push there than I would like. I would like a little bit more of a neutral setup near its limits, but it's not too bad, especially if you can drive smoothly. When you're picking up the throttle, exiting corners, no trouble at all. This just tracks perfectly with just a hint of push. But otherwise, yeah, I'd like it to be a little bit more neutral. I think most drivers will be exceptionally happy with the stock setup in this new WRX. I'm actually very impressed with the steering. It's the right amount of heft. There's great on-center feel, and it's relatively quick enough. Sure, it could always be a little quicker, but we are talking about a road car, not a race car. But steering feel is quite good as well. Who knew that Subaru could do this with the WRX, but indeed they have. Braking is impressive as well. We don't have anything like Brembo calipers. There's just 2 piston calipers on the front, but these seem up to par for any track work, and I'm very impressed with the way they work on the road. I can really control the attitude of this WRX through the brake pedal. Funny thing is, Subaru in their press materials calls the suspension track tuned, and I have no doubt that they did do some development work on a track somewhere, somehow, and that's fine. What you will find when you're behind the wheel, both you and your passengers will find that the ride is a little bit on the firm side, but that is a compromise you have to make with a performance-oriented car like this WRX. It is not soft and compliant like some other cars. No cars in the segment, by the way, are soft and compliant. They're all on the firm side, so take that under advisement. But yes, this is a little bit on the firmer side, function of the 18-inch tires as well as the suspension calibrations. Overall, I don't mind it. I think it suits the character of the car, and it definitely helps on the handling side. Overall, this is just a wonderfully cohesive, dynamic package, from the way the drivetrain works, to the steering, to the braking, to the handling. It all complements one another into a package that is definitely worthy of the WRX badge. How do you spec yours? Well, first let's talk about what we're looking at. In the US, this is called a Limited. In Canada, this is called a Sport Tech. This is World Rally Blue Pearl paint, of course, with a black ultra suede interior. Base price for a WRX in the US is a little over $30,000. This Limited, as tested, is about $37,500. In Canada, base price is about $35,000, and this Sport Tech runs a little over $43,000. In terms of speccing yours, especially in the US, there is one consideration, and that is the GT model. It's not available in Canada. A couple of things that comes with that are not here on this particular model: adaptive dampers and Recaro seats. Those are definitely worth considering among the other things that the GT comes with. Otherwise, it's a question of choosing your WRX trim level that you prefer, as well as your color. And while this looks great here, it wouldn't be my choice at all. I'd simply get my WRX in black. My verdict, well, let's get fuel consumption out of the way. I'm doing about 25 miles per gallon, or about 11 liters per 100 kilometers for my Canadian friends, and that's without even trying. I have been absolutely enjoying this WRX, and it's not difficult for me to get this kind of mileage. My guess is your mileage will be better than mine. As for this WRX, it is a legit contender to the small performance car market. It's very usable, very easy to live with, has all the performance and dynamics that you could ever want relative to the competition. And here's the thing, in the small performance car segment, this can go toe-to-toe for the most part in a lot of ways with the Hyundai Elantra N, the Honda Civic Type R, and the Toyota GR Corolla. And on top of that, with the WRX, you don't have to pay those egregious additional dealer markups as you will with the Type R and the GR Corolla. That said, this is closest to the GR Corolla in terms of its performance, given that it is all-wheel drive, does lack the cool factor of a hatchback, but inside it's almost got the interior volume of the Civic, which is very, very spacious inside. And otherwise, I think this can go toe-to-toe with everything else in the segment. I think if you do like Subaru's rally history, this is your only choice. But overall, this is definitely a contender in the small performance car segment. Thanks for hanging out with me today and having a look at this 2023 Subaru WRX with the manual gearbox. Hope you liked this episode, and if you did, you're not new to YouTube, you know what to do. Smash the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, like this video, and as always, sharing is caring, so please share this with your friends, especially on Reddit, because on Reddit, they really need to see reviews for drivers from drivers. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you want to support the channel, please hit up our merch store. Links here, links below. Lots of great stuff for driving enthusiasts like us, including our very popular line of Save the Manuals merch. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again next time. And remember, cars don't understeer by themselves, not even Subaru WRXs.